Welcome, this is teacher Jason again, and I'm going to be showing you some tips for IELTS Speaking Section 1. Speaking Section 1 is where they ask you questions, about general topics and your life, where you'll be expected to give answers about your life and general experiences. There are no right or wrong answers, so I'm going to show you some tips for Speaking Section 1. Tip number 1. Tip number 1 is try and speak freely and naturally. So avoid any kind of long hesitations. And also use some phrases to help you so you can expand on your answers and avoid any hesitations. Phrases such as, for example, I would have to say, well, now you put it like this, I would have to say this. So these are kind of good expressions and phrases you can use. Tip number 2. Expand your answers with answers and details. Please try and avoid 2 or 3 word answers because that's not really going to help your vocabulary score. So what you want to do is expand on your answer. So for example, give an example for your answer. So for example, if they ask you, what do you like to do in your free time? A good answer would be, in my free time, I like to hang out with my friends. For example, we like to go down to the park and hang around and play instruments. So for example, I like to play guitar and my friends like to play the drums, which can annoy the neighbours and other people in the park quite a bit. Tip number 3. Add some really good vocabulary to your topic. You want to put some really interesting adjectives and nouns to make it appealing to the examiner so they can give you a good score for your vocabulary. So for example, what is the weather like in Bangkok? I would have to say the weather in Bangkok is what we class as very hot. So in Bangkok we live in a tropical climate where it can be really scorching hot and you get these magnificent rainstorms at times. So sometimes the heavens open up and it just absolutely buckets it down. So there's some really good vocabulary there, such as vocabulary that's really related to the topic, like scorching hot, which means very, very hot. You've got heavens open, which means it's starting to rain. And then you've got bucket it down, which means rain really hard. So think about that. Think how you can expand your vocabulary. And don't forget your adjectives as well. Okay, so join me again where we go into IELTS Speaking Section 2.